let's go. His village, his valley. For Joe, the village was his whole world. It feels unreal at the moment to be in this village which really has not changed in 35 years. Come into this hotel and the first thing I see was, yes, it was the bearskin, but also this immense photograph that triggered my interest in it. And of course the book begins with exactly that, Joe discovering the bear out with his sheep and a bear hunt that follows, and the bear ends up on chairs outside this very hotel. When I was here 35 years ago, in the very hotel, and into the dining room walks this little girl of about 10 with a book of mine called Warhorse, saying, I heard you were staying in the village. My daddy said, would you mind signing my book? And my daddy says, will you come for lunch tomorrow? So my wife and I went up there the next day and we sat down in this little cottage, and then I started talking to the bloke who was in his about 50. And during the Second World War, he had been about your age, slightly younger I think, when the Germans came to occupy the village. And he said it was a bit of an eye-opener. They wore this different uniform. They were the enemy. They were, some of them, nice, but what were they there for? To stop Jewish people escaping from this horrible thing that was going to happen to them if they got caught.
So is he the reason that in your book the Germans are a little more generous?
Completely. What was extraordinary about it, all these stories are true, and I heard it from this man. And so it was through this little girl getting a book signed that this story happened. And bizarrely, I love echoes. It was exactly the same thing that made this film happen.
When I was 10, when I came to your production of Warhorse, I came up first with my programme to sign, then went back, hid away a bit, begged my mum to buy me another book, which she bought me the book of Warhorse, which you signed again. You named me Rugby Boy. I was wearing an England rugby shirt.
Yeah, you bought several books, as I seem to remember.
Yes.
And luckily, at some stage you bought Waiting for Anya.
But when I came to Anya, I fell in love with this incredible place. The idea, a real story, a real war story where it's not black and white, not good and bad, it's not Nazi and brittle French, it's people in an environment where no one wants to be. So I contacted Michael's amazing agents who were so really supportive and said, you know, have a crack. And so I spent the next 3 years with the amazing help of Ben Cookson, who is a fantastic writer as well as an amazing director. I hope you make something which is going to do this story justice, and if we do, I'll be as happy as can be.
And what he's done, which is really unusual, if not unique, is that at an extraordinarily young age he's taken this, turning it into a film. This is him passing on what has now become his story, as well as my story. And that's what's wonderful about it. Seeing this film being made in the very place that the story took place, in the very village, in the mountains, it's just extraordinary. It's a complete circle.
We always said if we ever got separated, we would meet at Grandma's house.
To make sure that no Fling or Jew crosses those mountains into Spain.
ユダヤ人の子供たちを救うため、羊飼いの少年が仕掛けた救出作戦とは。
I'll be taking one of them with me.
ピレネー山脈を舞台に描かれる希望と奇跡の物語。
She's getting close, I can feel.
アーニャはきっと来る。